You did the work, you earned the role, passed the test, got the praise. And instead of feeling proud, a quiet voice says, they made a mistake. You fooled them. And one day, they're going to find out you don't really belong there. If that voice is familiar, you're in a very good company, often with most capable people in the room. Let me show you why competence and confidence come apart like this, because the reason is not what you think. Two researchers gave it a name back in the 1970s after noticing something strange. High achieving people, accomplished, respected, clearly skilled, were privately convinced that they were frauds, not faking humility, actually believing that their success was a kind of a trick and that exposure was coming. The researchers called it the imposter phenomena. And the first thing worth knowing is how common it is. This is not a rare glitch in a few anxious people. Most people feel it at some point, and the ones who feel it hardest are frequently the ones who have the least reason to. The people who feel like frauds often are the least fraudulent in the room. So why does it hit the capable hardest? Start with the most important reason, and it's almost funny once you see it. Real competence comes with the ability to see how much you don't know. A beginner does not know the depth of a field, so they cannot see the edges of their own ignorance. They often feel more confident than they should. An expert sees the whole landscape, including the vast parts they have not mastered. So the more you actually know, the more aware you become of everything that you don't know. Your growing knowledge feeds your sense of falling short. The more you learn, the more you can see what you're missing. That's the cruel engine of it. The skill that makes you good is the same skill that lets you see your gaps clearly. So competence and the feeling of competence pull apart. The person who feels like a fraud is often just a person skilled enough to see how much further there is to go. The second reason is about how you explain your own success. When something goes well, you have a choice about what caused it. You can credit yourself, my work, my ability, or you can credit the outside. Luck, timing, the room, being easy, someone feeling generous. The imposter feeling comes from a habit of crediting everything except yourself. You aced it. You got lucky. They praised you. They're just being nice. You got the job. They must not have had better options. Every success gets explained in a way that keeps it from touching you. And so the evidence of your ability never gets to land. Every win gets explained away, so it never counts. The third reason that you're comparing two things that cannot be compared. Know your own inside. Every doubt, every scramble, every time you had no idea what you were doing and figured it out on the fly. And you compare that messy inside to everyone's calm outside. They look composed, certain, like they belong, but you're seeing their surface and your depths. Of course you feel like the only fraud. You're the only person who's backstage you can see. There's a trap built into all of this, a loop that keeps it running, because you believe your success is not really yours. You feel you have to work twice as hard to keep the secret hidden. And when the hard work pays off, you credit the overwork, not your ability, which proves to you again that you are only getting by on effort, not talent. Or the opposite, you hold back, avoid the challenge, so that if you fail, you can say you never really tried. Either way, you never let yourself collect the proof that you're actually good. The loop is designed to keep the verdict out of reach. So what actually helps? Not the thing people usually say. Telling yourself just be confident does nothing, because the problem is not a lack of positive thinking. The problem is a broken accounting system. You're not counting your own evidence, so the fixes are about the counting. The first is to name it out loud. This feeling thrives in secret. The moment you say to someone you trust, I feel like a fraud here, two things happen. You find out how many people that are capable feel exactly the same way, which quietly dismantles the idea that the feeling is fact. And you drag the thing out of the private dark where it grows. Named and shared, it shrinks. Say it out loud. Fraud feelings die in the daylight. The second is to keep the receipts. Since your mind explains away every success in the moment, you have to catch the evidence before it gets rewritten. Write down what you did, the problem you solved, the thing that you were told you did well, the outcome you drove. Not a feeling, a fact. Because when the voice says you've never really done anything, you will have a list that says otherwise. In your own handwriting, you're building the case your mind refuses to build for you. The third is to expect the feeling at exactly the wrong moments. Imposter feelings spike right when you grow. A new role, a harder challenge, a bigger room. That timing tricks people into thinking the feeling is a warning that they are in over their heads. It's not. It's the feeling that shows up whenever you stretch past what is familiar. So when the voice gets loudest, right as you step up, you can read it correctly. Not, I don't belong here, but I am growing, and this is what growing feels like. The fraud feeling spikes when you grow. It's a sign of stretching, not of falling. None of this silence is the voice for good. It may quiet down and still return next time you reach for something bigger. What changes is that you stop believing it is telling the truth. You know it's not a verdict on your ability. It's a side effect of being skilled enough to see your gaps, honest enough to doubt your luck, and human enough to compare your inside to everyone's outside. You were never a fraud. You were a capable person running an accounting system that refused to credit you. Now you can see it, and you can start keeping the receipts it throws away. The next time that voice says that they're about to find you out, you can ask the better question. Not how long until they see I do not belong, but what would I see if I actually counted the evidence? Count the evidence. You've been throwing it away. Start there. We do it constantly to everyone, but most of all to ourselves. The small, comfortable lies we tell to keep our story intact. That one is next. I'll see you there. New breakdown every Tuesday and Friday.